Well, hello there, I would say, among other things. Zoop, since I have to do that. So, this is V Rising. V Rising is a game that came out on the 17th of May this year, on the year of 2022. The year of wonderful, wonderful COVID stuff hopefully going away. I mean, we'll see how that goes. uh, so, this is a trying to think of a good way to explain this game. It is a game that is very much about resource management, I guess, as well as boss hunting. I think that's a pretty good way to put it. It's a resource management boss hunting game with elements of construction, and it's not a bad game in the sense of what it does. It's very good for it. Now, if you go onto its Steam page, you're going to find that it's got mostly overwhelmingly positive reviews, and the ones that are bad are usually just people that are against a specific type of gameplay, or are kind of like, hey, if you like running around in circles doing this, that, then, it's that's the game for you, but it sucks and this, and that. And everyone has their own opinions on things. Games like this, while they can be repetitive for the things that you are doing, they're, to me, can still be quite fun for various reasons. Oh, I need stone. And by that, it's a game that I rather enjoy playing with people, because while it's fun by itself, it's more fun to play with other people because you're coordinating, you're helping each other out, you can give each other tasks, etc., etc. It's one of those kinds of things. My finger placement sucks. Completely kind of off topic, but my finger placement is bad enough to where if I move my hand slightly, I'll completely just be doing the wrong thing. So I never could play more than like 3 hard songs in Guitar Hero. But yeah, so it's a pretty good game as far as I think it is. And let's go ahead. Ooh, that's a 90. 80, 90. Let's go right there. Alright, on the Steam page, I'm looking at some of their stuff again. All to better give information. So yeah, it came out on the 17th of May. It hasn't been out super long. There's been a good number of people who have had the early access stuff and their reviews in there and all that. And like I was saying, a lot of them are really good. Then you have other ones where they're pretty low. So, for example, there's this one here. It's got 55.9 hours, early access review. And the way that they put it is quite interesting to me. So, Isilon is the guy who posted it, or woman, whoever it is. But this game is only fun if you like to play games that punish you. Got a new ability like Wolf Form. Enjoy that 45% movement speed until you get hit. Late game enemies have a guaranteed hit. Now, see, right there, the first part of it where it's like, hey, and you get hit. Yeah, if you get hit, it takes you out of that form. It's kind of a balance thing to me, because you don't want to sit there and let them just straight up, oh, I can always move faster, I'm going to get away. It definitely puts a thing on it where you have to actually pay attention, at least to me. So I don't mind that. He continues on with, oh, also that late game enemies have a guaranteed hit thing. That's because they'll actually track where you're going and they'll hit you that way. So that's not a guaranteed hit. You can still dodge them. You just have to pay attention. But basically, it's like, hey, you can ride a horse, which is awesome until you get hit, then you get dismounted. I will say that's kind of irritating with the horse one, because you're on a horse, but if you get hit, then you get dismounted. I can understand it from the transformation point of view, but from being in your regular form, I would say, like, unless it's a ability hit, like some of the end game enemies have like really strong abilities, or some of the ranger type units have fire attacks, which I hate them. That I can understand knocking you off, but like when it's basic crossbowmen that shoot you and you get knocked off, that is kind of irritating. Also, horses have different controls than your vampire, which is totally weird. Don't forget, like enemies, blah blah blah. They go on that a couple times. That just comes down to paying attention to your things. Because yes, horses have slightly different things that go for your abilities, but it's basically a vehicle, so they wouldn't be the same anyway. I guess that's how I would say it. They also go on with, you can kill powerful enemies and get new abilities, except those abilities are kind of generic, and they're all more or less equal to each other in terms of strength. That's debatable. And the reason I say that is because it comes down to how you use your abilities. Because on your own, when you're by yourself, yeah, I can kind of see that. But when you're with other players, it's not the same. So you can, because there are certain abilities that will chain, well, not chain, they stack. They'll give stacks of debuffs, for example. Like a lot of the frost abilities, if you get enough frost on them, it'll freeze them, etc. It's one of those things that if you have, I need to put that back on. If you have another person with you, then you're able to get those stacks more effectively. And that actually makes some of those other skills you wouldn't normally use actually more likely to be used. I wouldn't say more usable, but more likely to be used. But yeah, it's one of those kinds of things. They continue on with, you can build your own castle. That's cool, except it's pretty generic. Crafting is incredibly slow by default, and resources dropped are incredibly low by default. This equates to a lot of hours running around and doing a lot of farming for a very little reward. That is another one that I would partially agree on. And that comes down to being a solo player. Like, if you're solo playing, then yeah, it can be a lot of time spent doing that. But if you're with people, it's nowhere near as bad because, like I said, you can basically designate who's doing what, you can work together and things like that, which does make it much more fun to me. What am I looking for? Oh, right. Well, so a lot of that stuff I have to actually go kill people for. And they basically continue on with, is the game fun? No, the game is not fun. It's something to do. Yes. Is it fun? No. They go back to the wolf and the horse thing and all that. They kind of hit on that topic, but they seem, with that particular review, just like they were only a solo player and they didn't really do too much. And like I was saying, it's like I can understand some of it, other parts not as much. Now, a lot of the base, like the general settings, they can definitely stretch out a lot of the stuff. And once I can get some of my production things up and running, you'll see just how fast I have it set up. I have everything set to like the cap, just because I can. But what am I looking for? I was looking for something and I don't know what. Oh, I know what I need. Where is this thing? I need these. Workshop. So, and again, like I said, my finger placement is horrible. You'll get a couple of reviews like that, and then there's this other review that I found, which I thought was rather interesting. It was one of the other ones that wasn't a good review. It was a lower review. They've only got 14 hours, but Rookjis, I guess is how you could pronounce it. But this game is this is fun game. There are very few bugs and it plays really well. So why the note recommend? Because it's made by Swedes and their comprehension about fun is directly inherited from Vikings. Get drunk in complete haze of drunkenness, travel to some village, raid it, and then, torn by severe hangovers and some injuries when bags are full of heavy loot, travel home, which is boring as fuck and tedious. And they just kind of rip into the Swedes a little bit for some reason. I'm not quite sure why, but yeah, they go down on some more and like, they need this tedious walk home. blah. So if you're from Sweden and you enjoy boring hikes and your backpack is full with mostly useless garbage, this game is for you. For the rest of the world, if you enjoyed Valheim, basically they're saying that building kind of sucks. And this is the gameplay loop I kind of mentioned earlier. If you enjoy the gameplay loop, kill boss, get recipe, grind resources, craft stuff, skill bigger boss, repeat. That is kind of what it is, but, you know, again, some people like that, some people don't. It just depends on how you go about it, really, I guess. If you thought that this was some action RPG with vampires, it's not. Remember, it's made by Swedes, and like I was saying, they tear into the Swede aspect of it for some reason. But there are other, ones as well. I mean, that's really annoying that it does that. Because I'm on a completely different page. But there's a lot of other ones that are actually good reviews. Now, I don't think there's a lot of them that go too in depth. A lot of them that you'll find on the top are a lot of, oh, this is a good game, etc., etc. You know, your basic reviews. But other than that, like, when you look at some of the lower reviews or the not recommendeds, they do have points that make sense. It's just a lot of them, it's kind of like, why is this specific thing the thing that you're complaining about? That's what I'm looking for. Nope, that's the library. Where's my... Oh, that's why. Actually, I don't think I can even build what I'm trying to build yet. Research. I need... Oh, I actually need animal hides. That's kind of funny. Didn't I drop those earlier? Boop. Stone dust. I can get tons of that later. Alright. Boop. So, like I was pointing out, I've got everything unlocked and all that fun stuff. Specifically just so I can do this review. Now, aside from all of that, how exactly is the game played? And obviously I've made mention a couple times of the general play loop. 35. Where's the one I'm looking for? I know you're 35. I know you're... Pretty sure this is the one I want. Yeah. Click. So, it really is a very simple gameplay loop, and it's hunt down your bosses after you get some gear going, etc., etc. And that's what I need, stone essence. And it's a very simple game loop, but it's enjoyable, at least to me, or it can be. And when it comes down to when you're not doing that specific part of the game loop, and you're doing a lot of your crafting, you're going to do a lot of your base building. And with the base building, it's pretty intuitive. It's really simple to learn. I mean, you've seen I've just been kind of chucking stuff around. But you've got, you get your fundamentals, which is your basics. You've got your production, so, crafting, refinement, getting new recipes, things that deal with your minions, your storage sections. And then there's a lot of customization you can go into with your castles, especially with the different floor types. And the neat thing about the floor types is it's not just decoration. Like, yeah, you have your different types, but so you'll get things like this. Floor sections that apply to bonuses to forge structures. And can't really see it on this one. So, for example, with the can't talk. With forge flooring, gives you bonuses to forge structures, and etc. I'm all over the place at the moment. Plankstone hide. That'll be one that I can use. So, let's grab some planks, grab all my stone because I hit the wrong button, but oh well. And I know I have, there it is, hide. So let's just take this one for example. This is our workbench. And up here you'll see, castle heart powered, which you need. And then if it's in a confined castle room, which is a floor and stone walls, you get a speed bonus. And if you have the matching floor, it actually reduces the cost of a lot of your things. And it's only by 25%, but that's late game gear. That's a huge difference, especially when you're playing with multiple people. So, for example, this would take a sword, 4 planks, and 120 stone. It would go down to 3 planks and 80 stone, something like that. Quick brain math, not work. Now, that's probably one of the more interesting aspects of things to do when you're not fighting, is definitely going to be base building. And it's not super complex, it's not super crazy, it's pretty simple, and it is definitely material consuming depending on what you're doing as far as decoration. Now, making all the normal stuff isn't too bad. It's when you start getting into the decorations, you're going to start eating tons of resources. And I've seen like a video or two, or at least suggested, that was about, hey, here's an end game castle, aesthetically pleasing, this and that. And that's one of the things that you'll end up with is, while it may not be as customizable as I would say Minecraft is, which is an interesting comparison to make for customization, just because with Minecraft, you only have so many types of blocks, but you can turn them in so many different ways. You can truly make some really interesting things. And why is there a wasp in my house? Ooh, shiny. And you have a lot of options in here for like just decorations, because you have different things outside, paths, lights, water supplies, which this one's really cool. I want to make at some point. But you've got tons of furnitures and statues, vases, mirrors let you change your appearance, all kinds of different lights that you can play around with, and some of them are really cool looking. But there's only so much you can really do, and it comes down to just placement. But the base building aspect is pretty cool for the most part. So, what other bits and pieces of this game can we talk about? Combat. Let's go with combat. So you can see down here I've got a sword, an axe, a mace, and a crossbow. The other weapons that you can have, which I think is really just the spear. Yeah. No, there's slashers as well. So you've got a spear and basically dual swords, which are called the slashers, but they're kind of like metal tonfa, if you know what a tonfa is. It's the it's like that it's a little L piece of wood that has it goes along your arm, it sticks out in front of your fist a little bit, and where you would hold it is connected to the side of it. It's kind of like that, but it's a blade instead, and you get 2 of them. And once I can get some more materials and stuff later, I'll make one and I'll show that one off. I don't know why I just tried to pull up a map like I'm going to teleport. No, right. That's why I built that in the first place. And you have those specific weapons that are there as well. You just gotta go make them, all that fun crap. So, your boss bar. All these fancy dancy bosses. And you get powers and structures from them, which that's the one I actually want right now because I want to put that down to show bonuses. But you track it and you get this nice little blood effect. And with combat, you've got your different weapons, and each weapon's going to have different abilities. What is that? Why is there oh, probably... Ooh, paper. Not that I need it. Probably people got run into by something. Oh, that's probably what it was. That right there. That little funky tree? That's not a tree. That's an N. So enemies are all going to have different abilities depending on who they are, and I guess you can say what faction they're from, because you really have 2 factions. You have the undead and you have the humans. There are, I guess you could say, minor factions within them, because they do have some kind of infighting sometimes. So you've got... Okay, it despawned. You've got your humans, which are under the church and everything, but you'll also have like not rogues, but thieves and bandits, and they will actually fight regular civilian enemies, as well as like, you know, wandering people. So like these guys, they would probably end up fighting some basic people. Pew! Pew! So jumping back to the different abilities and stuff, you depending on the weapon you have, you'll have all kinds of different abilities that pop up. So, you know, you have your basic primary, you'll have your secondary, and your tertiary. Now, you're not going to start off immediately with all three of these. If you were to... I think I have bones on me. I do not. Have the beginning gear, as you should, normally, when you're starting this game. Smack, 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 smack. Yeah, these guys are annoying early game because they go invisible. And if you're not focused on them, they'll smack you and stun you, and just... Stunning is annoying. Stunning is annoying in any game. Yep. I need bones, and I don't have any bones. Bones? Bones? That's clay. Brain fart. Yeah, so like earlier stuff is going to have no abilities, and you get some upgrades, and eventually they start having abilities, and I'm realizing I'm just wandering while I talk. Where's my little blip thing? There it is. One of the things you'll probably have noticed by now is it's daylight and I'm not burning because I have turned that basically off so I can just wander around and do stuff while I talk. But that is actually something that really plays into your combat as well, is daylight. Now, if you're playing it with, like, the day nighttime settings I have right now are actually the regular settings. Those are the only ones I didn't really change too much. And during the day, when you stand in sunlight, you'll get this little beam that just kind of gets stronger and stronger, and you'll just start bursting into flames. And that can be rough when you're fighting certain bosses, because you can be fighting a boss and you end up taking too long, it turns into day, and you start burning. And the reason that's bad is not just because you're burning, but it's also because, you know, that burning will kill you, and really quickly. Because you'll sit there and it starts off like, oh, it's just 20 damage, 40 damage, 80 damage. It builds up really fast. Oh, look, they're all fighting trees. And this is one of the things that's neat, is you can watch them fight, and you're like, yeah, I'm just going to let you weaken yourselves. Yeet. And you're dead. Yeah, the first time I ever fought an Ent was when I was playing on my buddy's server. And that didn't go well, to say the least. But yeah, so like you can be there sitting fighting a boss, and oh, hello. Next thing you know, the sun comes out, and you're just like, I have to run away. And it really sucks when you're sitting there fighting a boss, you almost got him killed, and daytime, and you're just like, I want to kill you, but I need to survive. Yeet. Smack. I'm just killing things to kill things at this point. Yeah, that's. I mean, combat is fairly simple until you get to bosses. Now, this boss, this is a really simple boss. Oh, hey, I can actually do what I was going to talk about. Since I don't have a spear, I'm just going to make a spear. Nope, wrong buttons. There we go. Boop. So, for example, you see I've got 3 abilities here. If I put a spear on, I've got basic attack. And of course I'm like destroying things simply because, you know, damage multiplier of 5. Which I wonder, smack. Oh wow, that actually didn't one-shot him. Smack. Poke you in the butt. Poked you right away. Let's use this just because. Pew. Now, clearly, I'm wearing endgame gear, so this guy is no real problem. But early game, he's not hard, but if you don't pay attention to what you're doing, he can be tricky. So, let's say, now that we have him, vampire powers. Well, I have the special one. I want to play the shiny one. I like how he looks better. I'm trying to... There we go. And so, Wolf. Speed boost. Yay. Basically free mount without having a mount. And like one of the reviewers was saying, you know, you get smacked and you'll go out of your form. I wouldn't say that's a bad choice. Again, I think that's fitting. So I'll show you what he's talking about. You know, run around. Woohoo! Missed me. And early game enemies, they're not exactly the most accurate. But late game enemies, they definitely have better tracking. And not like auto tracking, like they'll just straight up lead their shots. They're smarter. But you get hit, and poof, you're out of your form. I want to use one of my favorite abilities. Smack! That's just a fun ability in general, especially late game, because there's certain enemies that they're weak. They don't even fight you, but they're like priestesses and nuns. They'll travel in little groups, and when you do this, and they all go flying, it's just entertaining. But yeah, it just comes down to finding bosses, making gear, and all that fun shite. And wow, I am way the hell over here. So yeah, I usually make a camp right here, early game anyway. Because you have, you know, Wolf Den where the boss is, you got a boss up in here, you got a boss over here as well, I think. Which, might as well go over there. Now, early game, when you only have, you know, like your bone weapons or your slightly better copper weapons, a lot of the early game bosses can be pretty tough. And it's kind of fun to me. Because even though I'm not the best at playing specific types of games sometimes, having a challenge is always nice. And once you get past those challenges... Oh, okay, that's the boss that's up here. Once you get past those challenges, going back through some of the areas you've already been is just fun. Because you get to... You get that power trip because you're stronger. You know you're able to do things that you normally wouldn't have been able to do, and so you're just like, yeah. So So earlier I was talking about faction type things. So you've got, but factions, I guess you can really just call them groups of enemies. Smack. And you've got your undeads, which there's not a ton of, but they're around. You got your humans, and you have your undead humans, and then you've got your creatures. Yeet. Smack! Let me smack him again. Now, humans and creatures you can drain blood from and get stats from them. Undead you can't, for obvious reasons. They're not alive. Smack! Yep. I don't really need to dodge them, I just force a habit. Smack! The undead are useful for their materials. Animals, kind of the same. The humans are definitely the most useful, though. Simply for, not only they drop materials, but they can drop books for more research. Granted, there's a lot of enemies that can do that as well, but mostly it's going to be your bosses. Smack. Take that. Silly ghoul. Smack. I keep losing my train of thought. Oh, well, that's because it was a side smack. I was about to say I was surprised the skeleton survived, then I was like, no, I know why. I honestly don't remember what level he's supposed to be. 37. Okay, so he's not an early game. He's kind of a mid-ish game boss. Smack. Now, the thing with a lot of these bosses that you can't really see just yet because of what I've been doing so far is that they have different abilities that come out once they have health. Oh yeah, by the way, giant stacks like this is not normal. That is what happens when you turn things all the way up. You get gigantic stacks of materials. All in all, though, it's a fun game. depending on how you view it. If you view resource management, crafting times, if you think stuff like that's going to be tedious and you just don't want to deal with it, yeah, you might not enjoy the game. If you enjoy having to fight things with strategy, you probably would enjoy it, even if you don't like the rest of the aspects. And that comes down again to being able to play with more people. If you're playing with some more people, you can have the people that enjoy the crafting, the collecting, and all that do that, and then you can run around and just kill stuff. It's kind of how I play with some people. Like, I like the crafting aspect sometimes. I like doing some of the other stuff. It just depends on who's doing what and all that fun thing. Pew! I can throw little skulls now. So almost all the bosses are going to give you abilities. Some of them are even going to give you... I was going to go... Where was I going to go? Because there's another boss over here. That one. I completely lost my train of thought. Nope, not that. This. Oop. Nah, 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 nah. Bum, 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 bum. Brain thought. Brain thought no work. Yeah. Okay, yeah, talking about just people playing how they want together is what makes it more fun. Solo is definitely more like doing a challenge run than anything, because you have to take care of everything. You have to make sure you eat your resources. You have to make sure that you get... oh yeah, I can't get in there yet. I don't have it. Resources, weapons, all that fun stuff. You basically just got to build yourself up to be able to do things. Can't get in there yet. You know what? I don't think I've run across any other waystones. I have not. So I guess I'm going this way. Now, trying to think of what else. Other aspects. Once you have your castle up running and you've got your different tech and all that, you'll have servants that you can get. And when you get a servant, you'll have... Nope. This button. This right here, your dominating presence. And you can't... Oops. I'm going to kill you because I know you're going to try to attack me. And I just don't want to deal with you. Now with your servants are actually quite powerful. And not so much in the sense of combat, because if you don't... when you have servants in your castle, they're basically like a home defense system. And they're alright. Their power is based off the gear you give them. When you send them on hunts, that's where their real power starts to come into play. Because they will bring you back so much resources, depending on where you send them and who they are. For example, the area that I'm in right now, the Farbane Woods, you'll find that any human that you dominate and then put into a thing is going to have the Farbane Woods as one of their 2 little icons, and I'll show that off as soon as I can make one. And then they'll have either like it's kind of like a class icon, and one of them reduces the necessary power for an area before they lose a success chance, and the other one makes it where they'll get more resources. So production, dominance, what do I need? Plant, copper, and greater. So let's grab one of these real quick. Put that right here. And let's move you out a little bit. Don't think I have enough to make any walls right now, which is what I need to do. No, I do. Okay, cool. Castle, walls, wall, and there's a tree in the way. Yay! Need this. Need this. Clicky, clicky. I'm gonna put 2 of those down. And where is my stone? Ooh, wow. Again, I put multipliers and stuff, so it's going real fast. Boop. Let's throw in that stack. Castle walls. Boom, boom, boom. Blocked by me. Alright, floors. Crypt floor. Let's go with the special shiny looking one. Alright, so now it is... Oh, that is a window. That is not what I wanted. Scared of that. That's what I wanted. So now, matching floor, minus 50% of the time. And now I can go dominate somebody. The sun is rising. Oh no! I shall not know what to do. But I will. That is not what I wanted. That's what I wanted. Go ahead and turn this on. And let's... Mace. How's I run around with a mace? Oh, where's the closest little camp that I can go to? Let's go here. And let's go ahead and just turn into a wolf, because it's quicker for purposes of things. Even though I could probably just shorten this, I'm not going to yet. But once I get this one, I'll probably end this. So let's just run up here, like the little wolf we are. Yes, yes, I'm a wolf. So, other aspects of the game that I'm trying to think of that... Yeah, that's what I was talking about. Oh, right, I was trying to dominate somebody. Let's see if I can get one person to survive this. Nope. And simply because I don't like you, I'm going to dominate you. Deadeyes are really annoying later on because they fire fire bolts, and those are just really annoying. They're great when your enemies get hit by them, not so much when you get hit by them. I mean, that's how most attacks should work, but they're just irritating because they like to whip that out as like the first thing they do. And it's not like it's a small area, it's like a pretty sizable chunk of area that these little fire arrows will land on. Granted, if you dodge, it'll like pop behind you, but if you get hit by that thing, not only does it set you on fire, but then you're in the fire. And it's just, but it's nice. It's a nice little mechanic that I have to work around. Yes, come with me, my child. I shall turn you into something. I have no idea how fast this is about to go. Because with normal settings, making a servant takes an hour and a half without being in its specific room. 5 minutes, or 4.5 minutes. That's not bad. So that's with the maximum multiplier and being in the room. Which means at maximum multiplier it is 9 minutes. It's a rogue. But they'll turn into servants, and then you send the servants out and do stuff, which I don't know if I can make a throne. Open sesame. Gimme. Oop, that was wrong, but gimme. Then of course, you know, me being me, when I first got the game to play with my friends, I was like, oh, I'm going to get this, why not? So I have cool, shiny, special crap. Yeah, you sit on your throne, and you can see the areas and what kind of loot they'll give you, which right now this is the only one that I've actually got unlocked. But you go in here and you'll see, you know, you've got the class, you've got the area they're from. And it'll give you bonus loot and all that fun crap. But yeah, so all in all, it's definitely a good game. It's one that you can definitely sink some time to with your friends, even by yourself. Wow, multiplier really shredded that stuff. You can tell I'm used to playing on regular-ish settings. I've only got like a 2 damage multiplier to magic on mine that I play with my brother, and like a 1.25 for everything else as far as damage goes. But that was just to make it slightly easier for us because we were just chilling and doing stuff. We've definitely had some hard fights though, so it's not like it's been making it a cakewalk. I'm trying to think of anything else that would be good to explain. Probably it for now. So, all in all, the V-Rising is a pretty decent game. It's pretty fun. I do intend to sit down and go through everything in much more detail. I'll have specifics on various topics, as well as just the different bosses. I do plan on putting out videos for each boss that I've either fought or am going to try and fight at some point. Whee! But yeah, that's probably going to be it for this one. So hopefully you found some of this useful, at least. And I guess I'll come back another time. Ciao.